Wookies, these giant forest dwellers proved more than a worthy competition for almost all their foes. But what are Wookies? Wookies are native to the mid-rim planet of Kashyyyk. This lush forest world featured towering trees, endless lakes and impassable mountains. For this reason, the Wookies have evolved to perfectly meet their habitat. Wookies are clad in long shaggy hair and stand upwards of 2.5 meters tall. With an average lifespan of 400 years, Wookiees are far from mindless savages. They have a rich culture and their own language known as Shriwook. And many of these Wookiees also learn to use other dialects, such as Basic. However, Wookiees themselves are physically incapable of speaking the other languages. They are incredibly strong, weighing between 100 and 150 kilograms. As opposed to most races, Wookiees rely little on advanced technology, instead using brute force, for example using little armour, instead making the most of their tough hides. It was this strength that made Wookiees the perfect prey for Trandoshans. This reptilian race religiously proved their strength by hunting the most lethal prey in the galaxy, and hunting Wookiees for their impressive pelts was considered a great prize, particularly those belonging to the silverback subspecies. Trandoshans, being one of the few species that's able to match a Wookiee's strength, have often raided Kashyyyk for valuable resources such as slaves, and to prove their strength. For this reason, there's a huge amount of animosity between the Wookiee and Trandoshan people. Wookiees often used custom-made bowcasters as a weapon of choice, and relied heavily on the natural resources of their planet to sustain their civilization. Their primary material being Rosha trees, building huge cities in these sprawling natural fortresses, and their weapons, armour, and much more from the resilient wood. The Wookiees have proved themselves valuable allies to the Republic in the past. For example, during the closing days of the Clone Wars, when the Separatist Alliance attacked Kashyyyk due to its valuable position and hyperspace lanes. Here, Wookiees defended their cities high in the trees from endless droves of Separatist droids.
When we arrived on Kashyyyk, things were just as bad as we feared. The droids had us outgunned, outmaneuvered, and outmanned by a 5-to-1 margin. What none of us had counted on was the Wookiees. We'd all heard the stories, of course, but we'd never fought next to them. Never seen them rip apart a droid with their bare hands. They were magnificent.
Although the Wookiees fought bravely against the droids, it would be Palpatine who would force the Wookiees into turmoil. When Order 66 was initiated, Republic troops executed many Wookiees, as they were seen as accomplices to the Jedi. Kashyyyk was then blockaded by the newly established Empire, meaning that after starving the planet of resources, the Imperials could easily plunder the planet for whatever they wanted, which mainly consisted of Wookiee slaves that would be sent to mines on Kessel, or dispatched around the galaxy to work on whatever monstrous construction projects the Empire was planning, including the Death Star. However, the resilient Wookiees were less than willing to surrender to the Imperial rule. And despite all odds, 14 years after the formation of the New Order, the Wookiees staged a planet-wide rebellion. However, it was short-lived, when the Empire sent the 212th Attack Battalion to the planet to stomp out the rebellion, and they did, destroying many cities, enslaving countless Wookiees, and killing far more. Ultimately, Wookiees are an incredibly hardy race that can make short work of most opponents in a fair fight. Despite how rarely a fight is fair, they will always stand proud against any opponent.